Hey guys, I'm Michael Healy and you're watching Healy Outdoors. Gonna do some fishing today and hopefully some catching. I just arrived in Sterling Forest. I'm at the visitor center right now, about to get out of the car and talk to someone about where I can fish. I'm planning on Sterling Lake or Blue Lake, so stay tuned. Alright guys, so today I will be fishing Sterling Lake in Sterling Forest State Park. It's very windy today, a little bit of overcast. The sun sometimes comes out now and again. I will be fishing for lake trout, maybe a little bit of pickerel, rainbow trout, brown trout. What I'll be using today are these little Phoebes. Got them in a medium size in silver. I got one in gold too. And I got small ones, trying them in all different colors, silver and gold and blue. I will also be trying power bait, because there were some guys out there this morning that said they were caught like 6 or 9 lake trout on power bait. I've only had luck with it for stock trout. And I don't know if you guys can hear me over the wind. It's pretty windy, it's yowling right now. It's gonna be hard casting in this. I got hatchery pellet power bait, chartreuse, I got sherbet, fluorescent orange, and I have rainbow. The other lures I will be trying today are Mets spinners, like this. Got one in white and one in black, medium size. Might be able to catch a pickerel on those, or maybe even a laker. And another lure I will be trying that I just got is actually a duck. It's a topwater duck, mainly used for pike and bass. Maybe catch a pickerel on it today. It's pretty windy, so I don't know how topwater is going to work, but I'll give it a shot. And yeah, stay tuned. So now, guys, today I'll be starting out with a rooster tail spinner. It's green with a golden blade on it, and maybe catch a lake trout or a pickerel on this first cast. Let's see what happens. It's very, very windy, so I don't know if you guys can hear me, so I'm talking as loud as I can. I'm sure the fish will be hunkered down right now, so I might not have much luck. This is my first time fishing this lake. No boats allowed. It's awfully, awfully cold. I was told that fishing out off of here, we'll be casting into 60 feet of water. Definitely some lakers hanging around here, I'm sure. Alright guys, right now I'm going to try the sherbet power bait. I am using an ultra small travel hook. Right here. I don't know if you guys can see it. 4-pound test fluorocarbon leader. Little tiny split shot there to stop the slide weight. You know, a fish takes, what the power bait does is go float up about 20 inches. You know, a fish takes it, it's just gonna go. And I'm gonna notice it on my line, and I'm gonna set the hook on them. With the power bait, all you do is just take a little pinch of it. Oh, don't want it to fall over and get dirty. Then just fold it on the hook. Make a little ball, and a little bit more. I've used it before with stock trout, never with wild trout. However, I was told that wasting your time with wild trout only works with stockies. Caught some big stock trout on this. I'm not gonna say it can't work. Fishing's all about throwing something out the fish have never seen before, strikes their interest, and then they're like, ooh, is that edible? Let's give that a bite. That's what I'm hoping this will do for the lake trout. So let's see what happens. I believe this is 60 feet of water right here. Alright, so now I switched to another rod. I'm using a silver Swedish pimple, that's what they're called. A little orange, I guess, tape on it. Add to a different color. Use these up north jigging for lake trout in the summer and through the winter through the ice. never used them down here really. Orange seems to be the color up in Lake George where I usually fish for them. So I don't see why it shouldn't work here, so let's see what happens. I got my other rod set up right here with the power bait. Let's see what happens with that. Gotta reel up the slack on this a little bit. Got jammed in a rock. Hopefully fish doesn't steal it on me. What I'm doing with this is I'm giving it little tiny twitches. 60 feet of water, so it's gotta take some time to sink. And when I twitch it, it pulls itself up and then flutters down, sends off flash, so hopefully a nice big fish might find that nice and tasty looking. Try to take a bite from it. You can also work these reeling them in. Have a nice little paddle to them. Using a swivel a little bit up on the line to connect my leaders, using 6-pound fluorocarbon there. Got a cast over there again. I keep getting bites over here, so maybe there's a school of fish or something. They're light, so they're probably small, but at this point I'll take what I can get. Alright guys, so Sterling Lake didn't exactly work out, didn't catch anything yet. I'm gonna head over to Blue Lake now and try my luck there. They just stocked it with 800 fish, the woman told me at the visitor center. So hopefully I'll catch a fish there. Alright guys, so I made my way to Blue Lake. I'm putting on that power bait now, chartreuse color. I'm gonna try for some trout here. I know it's stocked, so might have better luck here. And I'm gonna catch this out, I'm gonna leave it there. Now my other rod, I'm gonna put a Phoebe. So let's see what happens. Alright guys, so I'm just new to this area all around. So I have no idea how to fish it or anything like that. There's some people fishing all the way over there. They haven't caught anything yet either. They're using worms. That was a horrible cast. I don't really know where to fish on this lake or where I can, so I'm fishing at the boat ramp. There's much less wind here, probably because of all the trees. It's not as big as Sterling. Okay, I'll take that cast. Better than nothing. So what I'm going to do with this rod is I'm just going to set it up right here. And leave it and hope that something takes it. Another rod, I'll try the spinner real quick. Alright guys, what I'm going to do right now is a little tiny fish imitated lure called a Phoebe. Now I found that these work very good for stock trout, even wild trout for that matter, so I find that gold works the best for trout. Got a little gold one right here. Gotta tie it on. Maybe now without the wind I can show you guys how to tie that knot better I like to use. I have no idea what the name of it is. What you do is you take a loop, you put it through the eye of whatever you're tying, and then you make a little box knot, but you don't pull it tight. Pull the loop out enough so we can get the lure through it, put the lure through the knot, and then pull it tight. And there you go. Always gotta lick them, otherwise the friction will cut the line. Bite the tag in, and there you go. It's your knot. Seems to be very shallow right here, so I don't know if this is the place to really fish. Most likely all out in the middle. Maybe I can come back next weekend and bring a boat. Sterling Lake doesn't allow boats, but this lake does. I think I'm going to try and walk around the lake a little bit. Find a better, deeper place to fish. Off that point would be nice, but I think that's too far to get to. So, let's see what happens. Alright guys, so I found my way to this spot. I was originally over there by that tall grass. Doesn't seem like that far of a trip, but I had to go through that. The roaring water over there from the floods. After all the snow melt and rain that we've been having. And on top of everything, I just cast it into a tree. Just makes me feel that much better. So I'm fishing at the mouth of a stream right here with a beaver dam over there, which is usually a good spot, but seeing how these are stocked fish, you never know where they're gonna be. And that's how you get a lure out of a tree. Roll up to the top and then a flick, a smooth flick will rip it right out. That's what I've been doing, side casting all day. Got that little golden Phoebe on. My other rod with the power bait is out right now over there. Still no bites. Haven't seen a fish, haven't caught a fish. Alright guys, so I haven't been filming much. I came back to Sterling Lake because Blue Lake wasn't much better. And I actually hooked into a really big fish on a Castmaster, and I lost it on my 4-pound test ultralight rod. The line is really old, about 2 years. I've caught a lot of fish on it, so it's all worn out. So I'm actually stripping it off now to change it. Luckily I have real prepared, and I brought some more line with me. This is Stren original 4-pound test monofilament line. So I'm gonna put that on this. And I got 2 rods out now with power bait right there. And I'm at the far side of the lake now, unlike before I was at the other side. And the other side is heavily fished, so that might be why I also didn't catch anything. But aside from the fishermen I talked to this morning, I pulled out 8 Lakers actually from this spot I'm at now on power bait. I've talked to a lot of fishermen, none of them have been catching anything. I did talk to one guy and he said that not an hour ago, I talked to him about 20 minutes ago, he said that he was whistling fishing at this spot and he was fishing with a spoon and he pulled a 21-inch lake trout out of here and he kept it. So that fish ain't here, but the people that were catching them this morning released them, so those fish are still around. So I came here hoping to catch one of those fish. So far nothing, but I've only been here for about 15 minutes. I've casted my way all along the lake using Rapalas and Castmasters and didn't get a single bite until I got here. So I know there's fish here, and now I just gotta catch them. So I'm gonna string this line up, this reel back up, and stay tuned. Actually has a laker on, or some fish. But it's a fish on 4-pound test ultralight. It is a lake trout on an ultralight rod. Look at that. Hell yeah. I was hoping I'd catch a fish for you guys. Look at him. Woo! Oh, this is exciting. My first lake trout on a 4-pound test line and an ultralight. Now, I don't think he's big enough to keep, but he's really cool. Alright, I don't know how I'm gonna land him here. I didn't bring a net. Definitely don't think he's big enough to keep. Honestly hate taking fish out of the water, but this is my first lake trout in southern New York and at a Sterling Forest, so I think I'm gonna have to take a picture. Alright, he looks like he's ready to come in, starting to be ready to come in. Oh, nope, he's still got some fight left in him. I'm gonna work my way down this big rock. Bugs. It's insane. really cool. You guys always want to tire the fish out before you take them in a little bit. Otherwise you can lose them. If he's not ready, you'll lose him. It's a nice little fish. Now the limit on lake trout here is 21 inches. So I don't think he meets that requirement, but if he does, 21 inches is just big enough for me to keep. I don't like to keep big fish because the bigger they are, the less they taste. Also, keeping a trophy fish, in my opinion, is wrong. You should leave them there to get bigger. So alright, I'm gonna see if I can scoop them. I really don't know how to land them here. It's a 4-pound test line, probably not my best choice. Come here, buddy. Just gonna see if I can pull them up this rock a little bit and grab them. I got them. Oh, they got teeth and it's digging into my thumb. Look at him. Just gonna quickly see if I can find my tape measure here. This morning it was in my back pocket, but I kind of lost faith as I catch something. He is about 17, 18 inches, so can't keep him. So I'm gonna get him back in the water as soon as possible. Alright guys, I'm going back down to the water so I can put this fish back. And I get down to the water as much as possible so I can recuperate him a little bit. Look at him. Oh, he is ready. Look at him go. First Sterling Lake trout. All right. Number 1, baby. So I just released my first Sterling Trout lake trout on 4-pound test line on a Castmaster. You guys can see that. I'm using my GoPro on my head now. My 4-pound test line that I just put on my reel about 5 minutes ago. So on my first cast with it nonetheless. So that was really exciting. I pulled in my other rods there because I'm not catching anything on them. And I was thinking maybe those guys were telling me it was BS earlier. They were probably using spoons. That was embarrassing. I just casted my rod backwards. First time that's honestly ever happened to me. I've been fishing my whole life. So I'm gonna cast that Castmaster out, see if I can catch another. Because it's so heavy on an ultralight rod, it casts very far. Let it sink a little bit. I was told it's about 100 feet of water right here, or over there a little bit. So always need to check your drag. Your drag is very important. If I didn't have a proper drag, I definitely would have lost that fish. So what I'm doing with this, because it's deep water and the fish are slow, is I'm giving it slow jigs. Bringing it up a little bit and then let it sink. And that's what I was doing before when I hooked that fish. If you noticed, I fought him very slow. First off, because I don't want him to expend too much energy, because finding energy for these guys in the winter, like food sources, is pretty difficult. So I don't want him to expend too much energy in the cold water. And also when you're ripping a fish out of 100 feet of water, you want to rip them up slow, because otherwise you can kill them because of the shock and pressure. So you gotta be very careful with that. God damn it. Oops. Excuse my French, please. The lure is just really heavy, so the line's slipping off my hand whenever I bring it back. Because it just happened again, so. Gotta let it sink. I don't know if you guys see all the bugs. Checking my drag again. You always gotta check your drag. Your drag is very important, especially when it comes to fighting fish. Catching that one fish brought up my confidence a lot in this lake. I was fishing here earlier at about noon and I wasn't catching anything for a while, so I switched to Blue Lake. I didn't catch anything there either, and now it's about 5:30 and I came back here at about 4. I've been fishing for the past hour and a half and walking to the spot because it's so far away. Oh, there's weeds here. Look at that bug. Mosquito. Those are fun. Alright, so I'm still fishing for Lakers. Caught one. Love to catch one that's 21 inches or maybe a nice big rainbow or brown trout. Show you guys. And I don't like to keep big fish because those are trophy fish. And I feel like they should go back and be caught again when they're bigger. So I like to keep the small ones. They also taste nicer in my opinion. Love to catch some little rainbows maybe, or a little brown, about 1 foot long maybe. Perfect dinner fish. I'm using a Castmaster right now. While I'm doing, because it's cold, the wood is very cold, so the fish are very slow and don't want to expend that much energy. So what I'm doing is I'm bringing my rod tip up a little bit, pull my lure. I'm using a Castmaster. It's a very flashy lure, like a spoon, up a little bit, and then it's falling down and setting off flash and wobbling, looking like an injured fish. And I'm hoping that a fish might find it tasty looking and eat it, much like that last lake trout. I caught him on my first cast with this new line. Snagged. Alright, so I lost that Castmaster, sadly. It's my only one of that size and that color, so that's unfortunate. But I tied on a white Swedish pimple. It's got some flash there. Freaking mosquitoes eating me alive in April. So I use this for ice fishing. Hangs vertically like that and you jig it and it looks like a dying fish. And since I'm fishing a drop off here that's deep right off the shore, I'm feeling like this might be a good bet for jigging. So jigging has proven itself to be effective for lake trout about 10 minutes ago. So I'm gonna see what I can do. Look at all these bugs, my God. I don't know if you guys can see them, but they're everywhere. All right, so I'm back at that first spot. See if I can catch another. Very important to let your lure sink first. I'm gonna try just slowly reeling this one in. Remember, the water is very cold, so the fish are very lethargic, so everything you do has to be slow. I was jigging slow and now I'm reeling slow. Alright guys, so I'm on my way back. Got a long way to go. It's about 7:20. Worried it might get pitch black before I get back to my car, but I'll make do. Caught nothing else today besides that one fish, but when I was walking back, there was a few roads like this, covered in water from the floods, from all the rain and snow melt. And there was actually a little pickerel in there that was about a foot long. I was able to grab him up for a couple seconds. And I put him back in the main lake. He seemed to be trapped there. Spent like 10 minutes doing that. Should have videotaped it, but it looked a little ridiculous. So I didn't. And also I didn't think about it. It's a tough day. Started out cold and windy. Ended nice. Caught a fish between two lakes and a couple few miles, probably about 5 or 6 miles covered today. Probably should have caught more than one fish, but I talked to about 7 to 8 people today. None of them caught anything. The woman I talked to at the visitor center said that there was 2 guys that went out early this morning. Like, they walked out here in the dark and they fished where I was just fishing, where I caught that one lake trout. And they were using power bait. And they caught like 8 lake trout. And then I went into one of their buddies when I went back, before I went to Blue Lake, and he said the same thing, so I believed it. And he showed me pictures, and these were some big fish. Nice fish, bigger than the one I caught. So I was hoping to catch one of those later on. I went to Blue Lake. It was nicer. Sun came out. Didn't catch anything there. So I came back here and actually caught something. So it was really nice. Built my confidence up for this lake. So of everyone I talked to, no one said that they caught fish today. One guy said that he was fishing next to someone who was using a spoon and caught a 21-inch lake trout, but I didn't talk to him. So out of everyone I talked to, I'm the only one who caught fish, so that's a really nice thing. I definitely think I'll come back to this lake. I enjoyed it. Earlier this morning, or about noon, 12 o'clock, when I was fishing and it was all windy at the other side, I did not enjoy that. But at the end of the day, it's a nice lake. Pretty nice. So yeah. Hope you guys learned something today or found me entertaining. Hope you guys find a chance to fish Sterling Lake and might take some of my advice of lures to use. I know I didn't use the lures I said I was going to use in the beginning. I did in the beginning, but they weren't catching anything, so I had to change it up. I'm tired and thirsty. I only brought one water bottle and it's gone. So yeah, good luck out there, guys. Once again, I'm Michael Healy, and you're watching Healy Outdoors. Thank you very much for watching. If you liked it, please subscribe.